There's a rumor flying around that the United States is planning to end the US study visa. Now, how true is this? And this is why I'm making this video. So if you've been in the loop, since Trump came into power, there's been a lot of conversations regarding studying in the United States or visiting the United States. But however, this has not stopped the issuance of visas to the United States. 27th of May 2025, there was a report on major media outlets around the world stating that there will be some major changes regarding the US study visa. But I think it has been taken out of proportion. Now, if you have been familiar with the US visa processes for the last 5 months, you would have realized one thing. Unlike before, whereby once you are granted the visa, once the consular tells you that you've been granted, you get your visa within 1 to 2 weeks. But what we have seen within the last few weeks is this. It takes longer now. I've seen cases whereby it took 3 months for the visa to be granted after the interview process. Lately, you will have minimum of at least 3 to 5 weeks, averagely. So what does this mean? This literally means that now they are taking a lot of time to do a lot of reviews, even after you've been granted the visa. We've seen a lot of cases like this, whereby you have been granted the visa, then it goes to administrative review. It took like 3 to 6 weeks, and at the end of the day, that person was rejected, or those people were rejected. Now, this has been happening since the beginning of this year, and that's because there's a lot of changes regarding the US visa policy. Now, I'll be making another video stating the do's and don'ts for visas in 2025, especially the US study visa or the visitor's visa. Now, there are more reviews being done regarding US visas, which means unlike before, whereby once the consular approves you, it's almost like 99% guaranteed. But lately, we've seen a lot of issues happening here and there. So back to the reason why I'm making this video. Now, the US have not stopped issuing visas. There's a new directive from the US government stating that all its consulars or embassies around the world should pause on issuing new dates for US students visas. So what does this mean? If you already have a date confirmed, your date is still valid. But however, if you are about to apply, I would advise you to quickly apply because dates are still available. Because after maybe within the next few days, we will see that there's a very high chance that dates will not be available on most of these sites anymore. And that's because they're trying to, get new tools, implement new tools to be able to help them better vet students. What does this mean going forward? Yes, we're going to be doing a lot of review regarding the person before you are being issued a visa. So which means they'll be doing a lot of social media scrutiny. They'll be doing a lot of, they'll be looking at your past record with other countries. And that's why US is making deals with a lot of countries these days. Anyone coming to the United States, there's a very high chance that you've been thoroughly vetted. So which means you've been thoroughly vetted and you have a very good reasons for coming to that country to study. And just in case you're wondering why is all this happening, because they realized that within the last few years, students from some particular countries, maybe China, India, they've dominated more than half of these international students coming to their country. So this is more like a red flag for them in the sense that because they're feeling like if students from countries that are not your allies coming to your country every other time and they are staying over, so now they're trying to do a lot of background checks to ensure that anyone coming to their country is coming in genuinely and there's no other funny plans attached to it. Another thing is this, like the United States president said earlier this year that he wants to make the US study visa as a pathway for students that are coming to the United States. Earlier this year, Trump said one thing. He said he wants a situation whereby students can automatically get permanent residence once they come to study in the United States. So automatically, there will be more vetting process. So it does not mean that the United States is planning to end this study abroad program. No. What it means is this. They want to make the system more better, so that way anyone coming to their country has been vetted already. At the end of their study, they'll be able to get their permanent residence. And this is one of the reasons why the process will keep getting harder. So now note, the US is not planning to end the student program. As you know, there are over 1 million people coming to the United States to study every year. And there are over 10,000 higher institutions in the United States. So it's practically impossible for them to stop this. So just in case you've been worried, you've been seeing all this fake news here and there, this is why I'm making this video, to be able to enlighten you on what is happening, where we are and where we're going. So if you find this video useful, don't forget to follow me for more because I'll be making a lot of videos. So if you find this video useful, make sure you follow me because there are a lot of things happening that will be happening in the future. So and things you need to do to protect yourself, especially if you're applying for a US visa in 2025 and beyond. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.